the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce, your host, and joined by assistant coach of the U-Pike men's basketball program, Ty Compton. Welcome back in.
Thank you.
Coach Kelly Wells, he is out on U-Pike men's basketball business this evening, and our pleasure to have Ty Compton back on the show. You've been here as a guest. You've been here filling in for Coach Wells before, and what a great time to do that. 5-game win streak. 3 wins last week, 19-2, and now number 2 in the country. What better time to be hosting the Kelly Wells Show?
Absolutely. It could be much, much worse for sure. It's always good to have positive things to talk about.
Obviously, last week, due to weather and the snow, an odd week. 3 games in a week, and your team responded very well. Life University on Saturday wrapping up that 3-game week. We'll talk more about that. Of course, wins over Shawnee State and Bluefield as well. But your team seemed to accept the challenge of a 3-game week, throwing off routine, throwing off schedule, and then trying to avenge a loss as well, one of the 2 losses this year.
Absolutely. Going into the game Monday, that was a little off schedule. I thought our guys handled that very well. We had a good walkthrough Sunday, able to get back into our routine after that game on Monday and kind of take a normal week with our Thursday, Saturday approach. So
sure.
It was definitely a little different for us, but they definitely responded well.
No doubt about it, and responding very well. Chris Cantino, the newest Mid-South Conference Player of the Week for the 2nd time this year. CC earns that honor and had a 26-21 game, which is incredible. Averaged 20 points and 14 rebounds for the week. He's getting it done. Most nights out, you expect a double-double, and I'm not sure that's fair to him.
Absolutely. He had the big game, the 26 and 21. I think he missed, had 2 double-doubles this week. I think he missed the 3rd double-double by 1 rebound maybe.
Because of playing time,
exactly,
because it was a blowout.
Exactly. And he's averaging a double-double and not the most athletic, but he always finds the ball, has a nose for the ball, and really works hard for position off the ball to get ready for those rebounds. So it's a lot about positioning, and Chris has figured it out.
Yeah, he's figured it out, and he's one of those 50-50 guys. If you throw a ball on the floor, chances are he's going to get there. It's something I'm not sure can be taught or can be coached. It's something that players learn, as you say, a nose for the ball. They seem to be able to anticipate where the ball will end up, coming off the glass, coming off the rim. Where the teammates are around them, they're able to anticipate that. That's a big part of rebounding, positioning as well, but I'm not sure there's anyone in the conference that outworks Chris Cantino.
Absolutely. He works extremely hard. He had a tough time early in the season making free throws, and
Sure.
that was something that he kind of kicked this week and had a great statistical week from the free throw line as well, and I think that's a big reason why his point totals were up, but the rebounding's been constant all year.
Not just Chris Cantino, obviously Mid-South Conference Player of the Week, but a big part of that because of his teammates. 3 wins, Mid-South Conference Player of the Week, and we mentioned coming in just briefly, now ranked number 2 in the nation. And U-Pike 19-2, I think in the 3rd spot is Freed Hardeman, Tennessee. And you actually leapfrogged Freed Hardeman, receiving a first-place vote this week, and Freed Hardeman did not lose. A lot of times this late in the season, someone has to lose for you to advance.
For sure. The polls are always a little tricky. It's always interesting to see how they're going to turn out every week. But, we've been lucky enough to get to the top and stay at the top, and it's always easier when you can get in there early and kind of fight your way to stay instead of having to fight your way into the poll late in the year. So we've been on both sides of that, and we'd much rather be where we're at right now.
9-1 in the conference, 2-game lead atop the Mid-South Conference standings. That's got to be maybe not comfortable, but it has to be a good feeling at this point.
Absolutely. I think we've got 8 games left, 4 on the road, 4 at home, 2-game lead. It's where we want to be more so than where we've been in the past. Usually we've not been in this position where we're in front of everybody and we're being chased, but we'll definitely welcome it, and we'd rather be here instead of 2 games back, that's for sure.
Guarantee you that. And Coach Kelly Wells will be the first to tell you he would much rather have that target on his back
Absolutely.
than be the one chasing. But you go on the road this week, a couple of games that we'll talk about, and we'll get a scouting report on Cumberland University and Lindsey Wilson. Two tough road trips. Anytime on the Mid-South Conference, it is a tough road trip, but it's a tough weekend physically for the players. It's a long trip on the bus. You spend some time there, and then you've got 2 tough opponents as well. Everywhere you go now, you're number 2 in the country. this is a lot of teams' Super Bowl, particularly teams that maybe aren't doing well in the Mid-South Conference standings. They can turn their season on a U-Pike win. How tough is it to prepare your teams mentally for those challenges?
That's by far, in my opinion, the biggest hurdle to have to overcome. We have a large roster turnover usually every year because we take transfers and that kind of thing. But getting guys to understand how tough road matchups are in the conference and how they have to be mentally ready every time. And especially with the target on our back, it just adds to it and reminds you a little bit of the year after we won the national championship.
Sure.
Everywhere we went, that was what was advertised. We're
Right.
the defending national champions, regardless of what we were doing that year. It's definitely tough and definitely something we spend a lot of time talking about.
We're going to have a special guest on tonight's show as well. Tell us a little bit about our guest.
Michael Anae. I recruited Michael out of Kilgore Junior College in Texas. He's the ultimate team guy. He's the first guy that's going to cheer everybody on. He does everything and anything he possibly can to help us win. He shows up every day, works his tail off in practice, gives 110% effort all the time. Had a great GPA. I think he had a 3.2 over a 3.0 GPA this semester, first semester as well. He's been a great asset to us and a great teammate.
Yeah, and a great guy coming off the bench. We've seen him have some significant minutes coming off the bench. Provides a lift. Big guy in the paint and alters shots as well. Maybe doesn't have the high block average, the high rebound average that you might think, but this guy has certainly come into his own, and he's provided a great lift.
Absolutely. He's 6'10", 6'11", extremely long reach, long arms. Doesn't really have to block shots to make an impact. He can be tall, he can be big. Alter shots that way, and the thing that really stuck out to us with him coming from junior college was that he was exceptional at taking charges for a guy his size.
Sure.
Not many guys that size look to take charges or are they taught to take charges.
Right.
But he's exceptional at using his body, selling it out, and getting the charges taken in the paint.
Well, you have to think, a guy that big, it's a lot further to get up from.
Absolutely, and he's not afraid to do it. He came in and you can talk to him a little about this, but he would come in and tape his wrists before practice, and I think one of our other assistants asked him, Mike, why are you taping your wrists? And he said it was because he was taking charges. He wanted his wrists to be protected because
Sure.
he planned on getting out there and taking charges. So,
Right.
and that's not something you hear much from big guys like that, but it's definitely something that we welcome.
It's not something you hear out of
No,
little guys
not at all, not at
either.
all.
It's a gutsy competitor to get in that position. Ty Compton, he's filling in for Coach Kelly Wells tonight. It's U-Pike men's basketball, currently ranked second in the nation, 19-2, 9-1 in the Mid-South Conference. And we've mentioned wins over Shawnee State, Bluefield, and Life University last week. We'll take a look at highlights from those games when we come back. The Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.
Hey now, come on, let's go. The music's playing, I've got to move on, to go out, no more delaying. Pack my things up, carefree, adventures waiting. I'm heading out to see the rest of the world.
Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We're talking U-Pike men's basketball. The Bears 19-2, currently ranked second in the nation, just behind Cal State San Marcos in the national NAI Division I rankings. Ty Compton filling in for Coach Kelly Wells tonight, coach on assignment, if you will. And of course, the Bears preparing for a tough road trip at Cumberland University, which happens to be the site of the Mid-South Conference tournament this year. This will be your first visit there this year, but you've got to take a little extra time. Does it help prepare your team for tournament time, because it is still a month away?
I think so. We had a great performance there last year with last year's team. We didn't return a lot from that year's team, so I think it'll be good for our guys to get a game in there, get some shots up, and at least understand kind of the surroundings and the area and the atmosphere that's going to follow that.
Right. And of course, the Mid-South Conference changing from the Frankfort Convention Center. I kind of liked it in Frankfort, but we understand it was Cumberland University or the East Kentucky Expo Center, and the conference voted to move it to Tennessee. What about that?
I think there was some time issues. I think one of the high school tournaments is at the same time at the Expo, and there wasn't a lot of wiggle room with the times, and
Right.
and that kind of knocked us out of that. But we would have loved to have seen it in Pikeville. I think the people of Pikeville would have loved it, and definitely would have gave us an advantage that Cumberland now has.
Sure.
So we would have loved to have done that, and hopefully the next time around we'll be able to get that done.
Of course, one of the first years the East Kentucky Expo Center was open, Mid-South Conference Tournament was here, and it was one of the first big events ever held at the Expo Center. But with U-Pike ranked second in the country atop the Mid-South standings, I'm pretty sure that if you had that vote right now, the conference would again move it to Cumberland U or Louisiana or somewhere west, not so close to U-Pike. We'll take a look at highlights. Last week, 3 big wins. First, we'll get things started with the win over Shawnee State, 84-78. And we'll get things started with Bluefield highlights.
Yeah, Keala King has done a great job the last few weeks of getting to the glass. He, 6'5", can rebound and push in transition, and that just gets our break started even quicker.
Yeah, kicks to a little wit and drills the three-pointer. Somebody we don't talk about a lot. Here he is with a little elbow jumper.
Absolutely. Him and Elijah both are a little interchangeable at the point, along with Keala, and having those 3 guys that are able to play that position has really been beneficial to us.
Big move in the paint there. Of course, Chris Cantino, the reigning Mid-South Conference Player of the Week, a little up and under. Elisha drives down the paint, uses the offhand, and lays it in. He's a tough competitor.
Absolutely. Ball screens are something that we do a ton of within our offense, and when Elijah's attacking, there's not a whole lot of guards better in the conference.
Cantino with the rebound. Putback won't go, but Keala King right there. He's an energy guy.
Absolutely. Bruce Reed there with a big rebound. When we can get Keala, Chris, and Bruce, all 3 hitting the boards consistently, we are going to be hard to beat. There's not many rebounds out there.
And Keala left open. He'll knock down the long-range jumper. Kenny Manigault.
Adding Kenny definitely has been a huge boost to us in the second semester. He gives us another long, athletic guard that can get to the rim, lead the break, that rebounds well as well. So
Bruce Reed, big block there, quick outlet.
that's Keala getting out in transition again. He makes great decisions. He's a willing passer. Just great getting in the lane. Right there he goes again, getting a paint touch and kicking for an open 3. When he can get in the paint, he usually finds the man and gets it where it needs to be.
Whitaker will return the favor to Keala. Gets a response from the baseball guys there along the sideline.
Absolutely. Those guys have really been a big-time lift for us. We love playing at home, and it's definitely an advantage to have those guys over there.
You need to start an extra charter bus just to haul those guys with you on the road.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bruce Reed, little turnaround jumper. He is so smooth.
He is, and kind of what Bruce Reed does goes unnoticed at times because you have Chris rebounding the ball so well, and Keala, rebounding it, passing it, and shooting it so well from the 3 spot that Bruce kind of goes unnoticed at times.
He's an effortless player. Makes
Absolutely.
everything look easy.
Absolutely.
Elisha with the steal, what he does best, and the dish to Bruce Reed with the finish.
Yeah, Bruce has silently had a great year. His rebounding went back up the last couple of games, and he scored the ball at a high clip. I think he's our leading scorer, actually, so far this year. So that goes unnoticed a little bit. And most of the talk's about Chris or Keala, but Bruce has been getting it done.
How about Josh Nunley off the bench in this game against Bluefield?
Yeah, he struggled with his shot the past 4 or 5 games up until this stretch here, but got in the gym. Coach Matt Brinkman, I'll give him a ton of credit. John was in the gym the 3 days leading up to this game, shooting 500 shots a night extra, and it paid off.
Mike Adang.
Big Mike, we'll get to talk to Big Mike here in a little bit, but he's been a huge lift for us coming off the bench. He has played some big minutes, starting really, I guess, with the Cumberland's game on the road. He's provided big-time minutes for us.
Got a deflection there, running the floor. Good block out, allows Josh Whitaker to sneak in and get the
Absolutely.
rebound.
We do such a great job with those 3 guys we mentioned earlier, rebounding the basketball. It's easy for teams to kind of forget about Elijah and Josh, and both those guys rebound well from the guard position.
Deep 3 from the corner. Boom.
John really got it going in this game, and it's kind of continued over the last couple of games as well. He's got his confidence back, and that's a huge boost to us right now going on the road.
You can see the confidence in his face and the way he's running the floor.
He's not bashful. I mean, he gets an open look, he's going to take it, and he's going to be able to shrug it off if he misses and get to that next shot. But seeing it go through the bucket a time or two is definitely good.
One of Eastern Kentucky's favorite sons, Hobo McCoy, there with the three, and then Trey Rakes follows up. Freshman getting good minutes against Bluefield. Now we'll move on and take a look at the win over Life University. 119-106, 7 Bears in double figures.
Absolutely, and there you see Kiala getting in the paint again and getting the ball where it needs to be. He has been one of the best that we've ever had here as far as getting in the paint and finding an open man. He does that so well, and with his size, it definitely provides problems.
Assisted Kiala, given to Elisha. And again, Kenny Manigault with the finish off the assist from King.
Absolutely, you get Kenny Manigault and Kiala both on the wing, or even when Kiala runs the point at times, and you get those two big guards. There's not many teams in the conference that can compete with that size.
Elisha hits the jumper just inside the free throw stripe. Dish to Whitaker, left side 3. We've said that a few times in his career.
Josh has got his shooting touch back a little bit here lately, and as you see John Mentally getting another one there, his hot streak continued in the Life game. He came in and provided a big spark off the bench.
Kenny Manigault in the paint. Seems to get better and more comfortable every game out.
Absolutely. He had a 3-year stretch where he didn't participate and didn't play a game, and he came back. I think he was pressing just a little too hard and trying to fit 3 years into that one game. I think he's loosening up a little bit as it goes.
Second half action now with the Bears a 13-point lead over Life, and Chris Cantino with the follow off the Josh Whitaker miss. I think he knew that if he missed, he knew he had a follow there.
Absolutely. And most of the time, the way we crash the glass and the way we've been able to rebound up to this point, a lot of the times our best offense is just getting the thing up off the glass or on the rim and letting some of those guys go get it. So we're thankful to have a team that's a little different than we've had in the past, and that will go up there and rebound with the best of them.
Cantino gets the lay-in. Nice job by Elisha with the find and the assist there.
Yeah.
He'll step up with an aggressive 3.
Absolutely. Elisha, his season's kind of been overshadowed. I think he had a near triple-double in one of the games last week or the week before, and just does a ton of the things that kind of go unnoticed a little bit with those other guys getting some of the limelight. But he's played a great game as well.
Bruce Reed just lets the game come to him. He gets the put back. Now Kiala running the floor. 3-on-2 break. 1-on-2 move and lays it in. With the offhand. I think sometimes we forget he's a left-handed player.
Absolutely.
He uses the right hand well.
Absolutely. He's a major talent, that's for sure. He can do just about anything on the court when he wants to.
84-78 wins over Shawnee State University. A win over Bluefield 97-64. And then 119-106, the Bears beat Life University to avenge a loss from back in November down in Georgia. How important was that win for your team mentally?
It was a huge win. That was our first true road game, NAIA road game, when we went down to Life, and I think our guys, their eyes were open just a little bit with the way they're going to have to play on the road. We discussed that a little bit earlier, and Life is no exception. They were in the national tournament last year. The player that led us in the national tournament with points is now on that Life roster, and some of those guys wanted to get that win just for that reason, if no other. But it was definitely a game that our guys were dialed into. Definitely a revenge game that going in we knew we weren't going to lose. They had to find it somewhere to get that done.
7 Bears in double figures in that win. Kiala King led the way. I think had 22 points, and you had 3 double-doubles. Bruce Reed, Chris Cantino, and Kenny Manigault, all with double-doubles in that game. Tremendous team effort.
Absolutely, and Life's style of play is a little helter-skelter, and they're going to try to create extra possessions throughout the game, and we were lucky enough to take advantage of most of those opportunities, get to the rim, and really share the basketball. When we share the basketball, it's something special.
Indeed. We saw that in the win over Life on Saturday. It's the Kelly Wells Show. Ty Compton sitting in for Coach Wells this evening. We'll step out. We'll get a scouting report on Cumberland U and Lindsey Wilson coming up this weekend. When we return, we'll step into the Bears Den. Micah Nay next on the Kelly Wells Show. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back in. It's the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. We talk U-Pike men's basketball. The Bears currently ranked second in the nation, 19-2, 9-1 in the Mid-South Conference, and we'll step out of the coaches' ranks. We'll get a different perspective now and walk into the Bears den and meet one of the Bears, Mike Ane, our guest on the Kelly Wells Show. And Mike, Big Mike, as they say, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. And before we talk basketball and we talk about your background and how you arrived at Pikeville, let's talk about Mike Ane, the student. What's your academic major and what are some of your future plans?
I'm a business major. Coming to U-Pike is one of the best decisions I ever made because, like, when I went to junior college, we were able to go to the national tournament. I was able to play with some good group of players, and also when I got here, we also have a good group of players that will continue our journey by getting my second ring as a player.
National tournament. It's about rings.
Yes, sir.
You played, of course, junior college basketball, Kilgore, Texas. Coach Ty Compton referred to that a little bit. Let's talk about growing up. Mike Ane, when was your first organized basketball?
I would say maybe probably when I was 17.
A little bit of a late start.
Yes, sir.
And Mike Ane, we've got to talk about hometown listed in Nigeria. Let's talk about that and when you arrived in the States.
Well, I arrived in this state when I was 17, 16. That was back in 2008. Then where I went to my high school in Florida. Then I transferred from my school to Florida to a school in North Carolina where I graduated from high school. Then I went to 2-year school in Texas, in junior college, Texas. Then after I graduated, I wasn't able to graduate because I have some grades issue, but I was able to transfer to U-Pike. So.
Let's talk about growing up in Nigeria. What sports, Mike Ane, I know you played sports growing up. Let's talk about that.
Well, most sports they play in Nigeria is soccer. Like throughout my whole middle school, when I was a little kid, I used to play soccer all the time. Like I never used to like basketball that much, to be honest with you, because basketball is just 5 players, but soccer give you like 11 players to be in the field, and everybody gets to play. So, but I started playing basketball. People said, well, I should give it a try. And when I started playing basketball, I started liking it. I said, well, I guess I'm gonna give it a try this time and just use my heart and just use my talent and trying to make the best out of it.
Absolutely. Is Mike Ane a pretty good soccer player?
I would say I'm good in keeping, but I'm not good in like playing. I would be the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper.
Yes, sir.
U-Pike may need some help.
They should let me know.
Yeah, just let you know. Of course, making the transition to basketball, you're a big guy, 6'11", and transferring from Kilgore Junior College in Texas. Coach Ty Compton talked about recruiting you to the University of Pikeville. Talk about that process. When did it begin? When were you first contacted by someone from U-Pike?
Well, actually, if I can remember, that was before the end of the season. That was last year. Then I got in touch with Coach Compton, so we started talking. And he told me, like my assistant coach in Kilgore told me, like because left for me, I always want to go to Division I school, but due to the grades I have, I'm missing some of my grades in school. So I said, well, I should give NIE a try. So my assistant coach told me if I go to U-Pike, that he knows I want to play with some good players, but if I go to U-Pike, they have some good players I should be able to play with. So, and I came to U-Pike, the first practice, second practice, and I love all the coaching staff, I love all my teammates, and I love everything going on. Now, we here to win another championship. Like I said, they won in 2011, and we here again to win it again. So we have a journey, we have a mission to accomplish, and we're not going to be satisfied till we get to our destination.
Sound like a guy that gives the locker room talks. Do you talk to your teammates this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a confidence thing. We're not going to accept defeat. Mike Ane, a motivational speaker coming to a locker room near you very soon. Mike, a junior now at the University of Pikeville. Let's talk about your first arriving at Pikeville. When was your first visit to the U-Pike campus?
If I can remember, I would say August, or ending of August, because I have to be here for new student orientation. Right. So I got here. So one of the assistant coach picked me up from the airport, and I got in at U-Pike, and they took me on a tour to show me around the classes and around the vicinity. But it was pretty nice.
One of your first visits to U-Pike was just before classes began.
I came here summertime and I start school like in 2 weeks.
Sure. And what kind of culture shock? What was it like your first arriving in Pikeville, traveling from the airport, traveling through curvy roads and into the mountains?
I was like, where are we going? That was the first question I asked because all I was seeing was mountain everywhere. I was like, hold on, are we going on a vacation or something? They said, well, I said, well, I know I'm not going to get lost. That's all I know. Definitely we are getting somewhere. I don't care how the place is going to look like, but I know we're getting somewhere. So definitely we arrived to U-Park downtown. I said, oh, yeah, I can breathe. At least I can see some people and see some building.
Right.
Because throughout 2 hours, all I was seeing was mountains everywhere and bushes. I was like, oh, my God, this look like Africa right now.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, you spent time in Florida, North Carolina, Texas, Nigeria. We've had some cold weather this winter, and we've had some significant snow. What's your experience been with that?
Well, I would say here, cold here is something else. Like, when I live in Atlanta, it was cold in Atlanta, but like not like snows every day here. You have to walk all the way from my room to these classes. It's pretty cold here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cold.
But you've adjusted.
Yeah, my body, I'm used to it, so I'm not like, I don't get sick, like complain about it no more, so it's something I'm used to right now.
And you've got toboggan. And you've got toboggan. I would imagine you did not wear that in Texas.
No, you wouldn't try that. It's hot in Texas.
Guarantee you. Mike Anae, one of our favorite Bears, 6'11" junior out of Nigeria and from Kilgore, Texas Junior College, our guest on the Kelly Wells Show. Mike, best of luck the rest of the year. Let's go get that ring, and then we'll wish you luck in your entire career here at UPike.
All right, thank you.
Great to have you here. Mike Anae in the Bears Den on the Kelly Wells Show. We'll return. We'll talk with Coach Ty Compton and get a scouting report on Cumberland U coming up this Thursday night. And then Saturday, the Bears on the road at Columbia to face Lindsey Wilson College. You're tuned to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.
I'm on top of the world and now I'm living, and the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Welcome back in the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Andrew Joyce joined one last time by Ty Compton, assistant coach with the UPike men's basketball program, filling in for Coach Kelly Wells, and Mike Anae. Great addition to the program, and he truly is. You've been able to see it on the floor, but speaking to him personally, he's a positive influence on this team.
Absolutely, he is the ultimate team guy.
Yeah.
You know, he comes in, gives us everything he's got. When he has the opportunity to play, he does the right things in the classroom, does the right things off the court. You know, really cares, loves UPike. He loves being here. It means something to him, and that goes a long way.
Yeah, and I think as he said that during the interview, you could see the sincerity in Mike Anae, that he does love the area, the program, the coaching staff, his teammates, and the community. Are just a great addition, and something that I've seen in the course of his time here at Pikeville. He's still learning the game. He's getting better every time out.
Absolutely. When Mike first got here, we knew he was going to be a little raw offensively, and had saw him play and knew that we had our work cut out a little bit on the offensive end. But he came in and he's done nothing but work as hard as he possibly can in our individual workouts, our open gyms, practice. And honestly, I feel like he's done a total 180 as far as where he was at when he first came. He's really, really improved his game and really fits into what we try to do on the defensive side of the ball really, really well.
Two big games on the road in the conference this weekend at Cumberland University, and then Lindsey Wilson at Columbia. Two tough games on the road. You had big wins against these teams the first time through the conference. How do you keep your team from overlooking these two?
You know, it'll be tough. Our routine's broken a little again. We usually travel on Thursday. We're going down on Wednesday night for this trip because of the length of it. But you know, Cumberland, Tennessee is going to be a tough matchup. They're small. They're super quick. A little bit different than what we're used to.
Sure.
It was a hard-fought game up here. Got a little dicey at times up here. So Whether students are on campus Thursday, it's going to be tough. But hopefully, we'll preach to our guys and have been preaching to our guys that we need to play one-game championships. Every game is a one-game championship from here out, and if we want to win the Mid-South Conference and hopefully a national title, we've got to be able to take it one game at a time.
And, of course, the win over Lindsey Wilson back early in January, one of the lowest offensive outputs for the Bears this season. Still got to win, but Coach Paul Peck, his teams will play some defense. They'll try to keep the scoring down.
Absolutely. I've watched Lindsey Wilson film from our game all day today, actually. And, we didn't play particularly well. We had a little stretch there where we kind of opened things up a little bit and were able to maintain that lead. But, the opportunities were there. They're two-time defending conference champions. They've been playing well at home, so It's definitely going to be a challenge going down there and winning.
Different team playing in Columbia, no doubt about it, and always a well-coached team that will get after you, play very hard. Two tough opponents for the Bears this week. Let's come back and talk about two wins on next week's show.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
The Bears currently ranked second in the nation after the poll was released earlier this evening. Now 19-2, 9-1 in the Mid-South Conference. Of course, you'll have complete coverage of the Cumberland University game with the Bears Thursday night. Complete coverage begins at 8:45 p.m. It's a Central Time Zone game. And then Saturday, Lindsey Wilson, a 5 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Coach Ty Compton, thanks for being with us, filling in for Coach Wells.
Absolutely. Love the opportunity, and hopefully I'll be back again.
Let's get to the Bears on the road this weekend. Be sure and tune in to your official home for UPAC Athletics, Z1075. On behalf of Kelly Wells, Ty Compton with the assistant coach, and Mike Ane, our guest in the Bears Den tonight. You've been tuned to the Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce.